So locating birds. Where did we go? Couple simple calls. A crow call. That's quite often many hunters' go-to call to locate a bird. Now, any of these calls that I'm going to do are going to be an audible stimulus just to get a bird to gobble. I like using a locator call instead of communicating as a hen because I could potentially become a destination point. If I'm walking and I'm trying to get a bird to fire, I might use one of these calls, just a locator call. So this is just a simple crow call. The thing you want to do with the crow call, loud. Any locator call, you want to make it loud so you can have that audible stimulus to get that bird to fire. Just get him to gobble. You just need to know where he is. That's all you need to do. The one thing you don't want to do is do like a whole entire calling rendition with an owl hoot, a crow call, any of the other ones that I'm going to talk about, because the sound you're making could overlap with the gobble of a tom and you'll never hear it because you're too loud, overwhelming the sound of that tom. So just quick. Shut up. Just listen for that response. Owl hoots, I like to use my voice. Pause, wait, nothing. And wait. Don't do any locator call too long. Can't stress that enough. So another thing I like to use, I think there's a couple pronunciations. A pileated, I call it a pileated woodpecker or a pileated woodpecker. Take your rabbit squealer distress call, and this is where that cyclical breathing that I've taught comes in the past. You're not calling as a distressed rabbit. You're blowing air out and sucking it back in as fast as you can, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You can really kind of replicate the sound of that pileated woodpecker. As loud as you can, totally natural in the field. You sound like a pileated woodpecker. You could get that tom to respond back to that. And this one sounds completely hypocritical. A coyote howler, rip one sharp, loud, aggressive howl and just shut up. Many a times I'll get a bird respond back to that. It's that shock gobble, just communicating back to an audible stimulus. And just shut up. So those are just a couple of examples of locator calls where you can be the audible stimulus to get a bird to gobble. When we park the truck, we don't want to slam doors. I've had birds gobble to the slam of a truck door. Not from me, but from somebody that I'm hunting with. Diligent approach, especially in the morning. Don't wake that bird up on the roost. Try not to get that shock gobble and let your presence be known as a human. One of those calls, great example, but it's the fact of the matter, audible stimulus to shock gobble and get that bird to open up his mouth, and then you can determine how to proceed on that bird. When you're not hunting and you're scouting and you're looking for birds, something that I really like to look for are scratchings. Fresh scratchings on the ground. Kind of looks like a rototiller goes through there with one pile, and not a pile, one clearing of leaves, another clearing of leaves, and you can just see that pattern, and you can kind of see a line of where a bird is working, scratching at the ground. Find those fresh scratchings, and if you have the opportunity for, that's a great spot for trail camera reconnaissance, especially with a cell camera. Or what I like to look for is little depressions in the earth. Now, when birds are preening themselves, they'll take a dust bath and they'll hit those same spots over and over, and it'll make a little depression in the earth. One thing to look for is not just the depression in the earth, but what kind of soil is it? If you can look at it and it looks and feels kind of like talcum powder, that is a great soil content for a bird to take a dust bath. That is a great destination point to have a trail camera to keep on those dust baths, to take inventory of age class and family group structure of birds. How many birds are commuting through there?